Hello. Um, I'm going to actually make two different video lectures regarding, any type of synchronous or asynchronous um, teaching through well, in this case, obviously, we all are using Canvas. So this one probably more on some requirements and some options, and not to make any of my videos too long. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna create more than one. So let me start by saying, okay, so I'm gonna basically stick to one option for either live or recording lectures. Or actually, you don't have to record live lecture. Sorry, you don't have to do lectures live, but whatever you want to do live, that is either discussions or virtual office hours or whatever you intend to do live or asynchronous. Synchronous means that they can see you if you, well, actually, if you choose the video option, and you can see them again if they choose to allow their computers to videotape. But it's a live conversation like in Zoom, by the way. So right, and the asynchronous is when you basically record something, and it's not that you cannot record a live section, but obviously you can. Hopefully that was clear. Think of Zoom, right? In Zoom, you can do it live and record it or not record it. But anyway, the first step is that if you open your shell, and actually, by the way, I'm actually using a shell that of a class I taught in the summer. Why am I using this? Because when I click conferences in a minute, if I use one of my shells that are for the fall 2000, it would say, it would give me an error message. So that's it. So anyway, the first thing is that you want to make sure that this is in your, on the left side of your screen, and by this I mean conferences. Let me explain something that have to do with the difference between your view and the student view. And that's simple. You see this little I here with a slash? That doesn't mean that you can't see it. Of course you can. That means that your students cannot see it. Now, I'm not going to get into, well, but I don't want my files for the students to be seen. How do I? I'm not doing that now. And that's for time. So what I'm doing is, let's say that whatever you have here that is hopefully not showing that I, it's to a certain extent, not everything, but most of the time is what the students actually also see. So if you don't have the conference in your shell, which is the Canvas shell of your class, you need to add it to it. That's the basic. So how do I add that? Obviously I have it already, but how do I add it? You go to settings. I guess it's most of the time, if not all the time, it should be at the bottom, like in my case. By the way, obviously what you see on my screen is different from what you see when you do it yourself. So let's click on settings. All right. So it might not go directly to navigation. It may go to that. Oh, how did you do this? Not getting into that. And that, go to navigation. Don't worry about this right now. So as you can see, on the top list, which is this one, I have the conference is being added. right? Can I take it out? Which I won't, disable. I'm not going to do that. So let's just say that I don't have it in my list, in my top list, so I have to go down, right? I will look for it, and, I know that what I'm clicking is not conference, of course, because, so, but look at, actually click on the three dots here, and you see the plus enable. Okay, click on it. Now, don't do it with Cengage. Do it with, sorry, not Cengage. Do it with, obviously, conference, if it's not already in your top list. Okay, so enable it. Now, this is the part that if you forget, you're going to have to do this again. And it goes here. You need to save it. If you don't save it, you're not going to see it added. So you save it. Very important. I know I'm going slow, but that's on purpose. Save it. It's okay if I save it here. It's not going to, so just for, then I go back. And, you should see, I don't know, it may take a minute. You may be at home. Your internet is not the same speed and all of those things. So, be patient. Remember, during this pandemic, a lot of people are using the internet, right? And it may be daylight. So, whatever the case. So, we all need to be patient. It shouldn't take too long. And I don't foresee it to be very long. So, click on conferences. Okay. Now, this is where basically just going to say you click on anything that you want to add. Well, yeah, you just have a plus sign, conferences. You see how I don't have any new conferences? In your case, you won't see all this, okay? Because, it should be blank. And why not, right? Now, I'm going to take a little turn to literally the right and click on here. Why? Well, you're going to know why. Because what's the point of I explaining everything that I'm going to be doing today, and maybe not only on this video, but in the next one? If I don't go through these requirements, you're going to have some issues. I mean, if you don't follow or have the required equipment and all of those things. And that goes for the students, because you need to learn for yourself, and you need to learn for the students too. So here, minimum requirements for connecting to Big Blue Button. You're saying, wait, what is Big Blue Button? Well, it's a Big Blue Button. Just kidding. It's a company that makes this application that is, we just call in Canvas conferences. Okay. You didn't need to know this, and you can read everything. And I don't know if you can see this, which is the URL. If you're interested, I'm not gonna spell it, but you can ask me for it. Email me. Anyway, just to some technical issues. Well, Big Blue Button is an HTML type of environment. And you're saying, I don't know what that is. That's fine. But HTML is the language that some of us nerds still use to create websites. And all of those things that you see in the internet are not all of them, but a lot are created using HTML. And actually, a lot of Canvas uses HTML. So what does that mean? Oh yeah, it means something for you, Dr. Hernandez, because, oh yeah, we know you can, code in HTML. No, that's not my point. My point is that all of devices out there that have a browser can display HTML. Did you get what I said? It means that you can see, not see, right? You can display stuff created in Canvas or in Conferences, which is the blue button, and they can be viewed through a browser, a web browser. Here, I'm going to talk about it in a minute, right? You understand that? So, if you're still not clear what that means, it means that anywhere you can use a browser, especially, I'm going to talk about it here, down here. You can view whatever you produce in Canvas or in Conferences. Having said that, notice that I said view, not create. All right? So there's two sort of ways of looking at everything I'm saying today. What's for you as an instructor and what's for the students, right? So for you as an instructor to be the producer, the teacher, right? Yes, you need certain requirements. And that's where I'm going at this point. This is here, right here, computer recommendations. There's not requirements, there's recommendation. Now, what if you have a computer that is less than 4 gigabytes of memory? Well, you may be able to do everything, sure. It may be slower, well, probably. And the processor, is there anything, what is faster, a Lamborghini or a Nissan Sentra, right? Now, actually not me, but my computer is older than 4 years, not the one that I'm using right now, but the one at home. You're supposed to be okay. Just think if it's 4 or 5 years, you're probably fine. Then the browser. Well, it's not a surprise because most things that are produced for browsers, they're usually work better with Google. Can we all say monopoly? Yes, Google, get it, right? Now, if you're using some other browser, it doesn't say that it cannot be used, but it's just saying that, it's better, right? And it's current, like you want to have the latest. I'm not an Apple expert by any means, but if you can, just use Google. Google Chrome. Yes. Again, like I said, if you have an Android, it could be a tablet or a phone, you can use Chrome, in your mobile, the version, which means that it's not that you cannot. This is for the students and actually for the teachers too. There are apps. Yes, there are apps for both Android and Apple for Canvas. Those apps, they don't, as a teacher, let me start with the teacher, don't let you do everything you would like to. They're more like a viewer than, editor, if that makes sense. Now, there's a version for students, which I never actually downloaded. I'm assuming that there are some limitations. But I'm not talking about apps. Remember that I talked about the HTML? Well, to view, you can use a browser. That's it. Okay, so audio recommendations. This is obviously not me, but yeah, I like using headphones because it may, if you have noise, environmental noise, well, it may, minimize that, and you may not bother, somebody else nearby, and all of those things. use an external microphone is possible. Yeah, I have my, it's not an advertising, but uh, some of you have actually asked me for a recommendation, and the microphone that I use is one that is listed as in the top ones under $50. The brand name is Blue as the color blue, and the model is Snowball, yes, Snowball, because it looks like a snowball, because in my case it's white, but it also comes in black. It's called Snowball Ice, and it's a USB microphone. Make sure that whatever microphone you buy, I recommend, it doesn't have to be USB, because you can plug in but let me not make this longer than it needs to be. Now, yes, you can use the microphone on your computer. Have that work out great? If the question is yes, then hey, good for you. Not so much in many of the cases that I've seen on Zoom and other meetings. So mobile device recommendation. Obviously, the faster it is, like 4G, you're probably not gonna, I don't recommend using mobiles for creating content, but, like I said, there's two ways of viewing what I'm talking today. Right now, from the perspective of the instructor and from the perspective of the student. So you want something fast and, 4G, no, your phone may be 4G like mine, and sometimes it goes down to 3G, but that's fine. They recommend private networks versus public network. I don't know that you're gonna say anything, or the students are gonna say anything that is, confidential, but it is social work, right? So, private networks. And if you're wondering if you're doing it at home, it's quite likely a private network, unless you, let's say, borrowing your Wi-Fi. Reducing device usage. Yes, it's like, why am I paying a power bill so high? Well, if you have everything on, so you want to have the least amount of Wi-Fi, competition for your Wi-Fi as possible. So, you may tell your kids, your spouse, um, well, I say spouses because, it's plural. There's a lot of those. Hey, can I have my, 20 minutes here? It also matters, in your contract that you have with your internet provider. The numbers are 25 to 100 and 200. Forget what the three other letters are, but there's like three different numbers. If you're 25 and you have a family, you know, that's not very good. If you're 100 but you have a big house and you're on the second floor and the router's on the first floor, it could probably work. If you have 200 like me and you live alone and you're always in the same room as your router, you were paying too much. So I switched mine at home. Data charges, if you're over going, forget to use your Wi-Fi, yes. Internet bandwidth recommendation. Okay, so for the presenter role, and this goes, or the instructor, must have at least 2 megabits per second and 5 megabits second downstream. Don't ask me how to find this. In your particular case, you see this? I'm going to leave it open for a while. So I know that you cannot click on the screen because this is a recording, but it is a short URL. So do it at home or whenever you want to do it. Okay? I'm just moving slowly down. And this is actually the last thing from this page that I want to show. Like I said, I want to give you some time to type this URL. I'm not going to go there because, you know, I'm connected to the university. I'm in my office, so it should be quite fast. So I'm going to move to another tab. Okay. Now, here. So, everything is hunky-dory, and now you can go to conference. The bad news is that I wanted to make this first video only 20 minutes, and I'm over 20 minutes. So I just want to make this one to let you know what do you need to be ready to roll, ready to rock and roll. So wait for my second video or click on my second video. So we'll start in this, you know, creating a conference. All right. See you soon. Bye-bye.